Okay, so in the last lecture, we have just created an Angular project. We have also seen how to install Node.js and Angular. Okay, today I'll just mm, take like a revision of that. Okay, because since some of the people are new, so how do you install Node.js? So you can go to nodejs.org site and there you'll find a download link. Okay, just download the LTS version. Don't download the current version. Okay, download LTS and whatever the operating system is there, accordingly download that version. The LTS is a stable version. Okay, it's a long-term support version. So you can download that. Once it is downloaded, okay, you will find that when you open a command prompt, okay, once you download it, install it. Okay, after installing it, you'll in the open the command prompt and just type node space hyphen hyphen version. Okay, so if you get the version, that means node is successfully installed. Okay, and along with node, you'll also get one command called as npm. Okay, which is just for node package manager. This command also you'll get it. So if this is also coming, that means node is successfully installed and you can now proceed with Angular. Okay, now to install Angular, we are not actually installing the Angular framework itself. We are actually installing Angular CLI. Okay, you can find the installation instruction for Angular CLI on Angular site as well. Okay, you can go to angular.io and in the docs, you can see getting started and setup. Okay, in the setup, you will see the prerequisites like you should know at least HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I hope whoever is joining first today, so they are basically they know at least HTML, CSS, and basic JavaScript. Okay, and yeah, Node.js is required. And how do you install an Angular CLI? So just you have to run this command. Okay, this will basically install like npm is a your package manager. As I just told you, npm will come along with your node. So it will be used to install packages for nodes. So here we are installing Angular CLI. Okay, and we are specifying hyphen G option. Hyphen G is used for installing it as a globally. Okay, so we are installing Angular CLI here. We are not installing Angular framework as such. Okay, we will create a project which will be consist of Angular framework. Okay, so Angular CLI is a command line interface tool. Okay, which is used to create Angular project and also run some Angular commands. We will see those commands later on in the course itself when as our course progresses. And once this is installed, okay, it will take some time. Okay, sometimes it will also give you some permission related errors. Okay, there is some e-access error. I can show it to you right now. I already installed it, but if I do it again, it will just update it. Okay, so you will get e-access error. Okay, like this error, e-access, so you'll see e-access permission denied. That means you don't have a admin rights. Okay, so if you're on Windows, just open your terminal in administrator rights and then run this command again. Okay, and if you're on Mac or Linux, okay, then you can before running this command just type sudo before it and then run it. It will ask you for the password, user's password, the current user logged in password, so that you can enter the password and now it will successfully install. Okay. Once this is installed, you can you will find one command which will be globally available. Okay, so as we have a node command, npm command, so once you install Angular CLI, you will find command ng. Okay, this ng command will be globally available for you. You can also run ng space version, so it will print you the Angular CLI version. Okay. So current Angular CLI version is 14.1.3. Okay. So that means the framework or project that you will create, it will be based on 14.1.3 version. Okay. This is the current version. The latest upcoming version is Angular 15. Okay. So this, if you are seeing this, that means your Angular CLI is successfully installed on our machine. Okay. Once this is done, then you can create a project. Okay, using this command. Okay, so you can write ng new. Okay, new is used to create a project and then your project name. Okay, so last time we have created a project with like store, because in the first lecture itself I told you that the Angular that we are going to learn is along with the project. So we will start with the project, like it will be a small e-commerce based application. So we will continue that application throughout our course. Okay. And in that application itself, we will see how to implement or how to learn like various topics. Okay. So we are going to create a store application. So we have already created this. So you can just type ng new and you can type anything you want. Okay. I just type no store. If you want to write my store, my shop, whatever. Okay. It's up to you. Okay. Once this is installed, okay, then you can directly run your application. Okay, how to run it, that I will tell you. Okay, but today I'll just first tell you the directory structure. Okay, till I'm explaining it, you guys can whoever is joining first can start creating the project. Okay, so my project is in like store folder, so I'll go to store folder first. Okay, and then I'll open this folder in VS Code. Okay, so when you are developing with Angular, okay, in VS Code, okay, you can use any ID. Okay, but VS Code is like the most recommended ID. Okay, I will also recommend it. You can also use other IDs like WebStorm or any other ID that you like. Okay, but VS Code is good and it has all the extensions that will be required for Angular or TypeScript or JavaScript. Okay, so yeah, before running this, you can install some of the extensions related to Angular, which you will find like useful for developing an Angular application. Okay, so first I would recommend is like Angular 10 snippets. Okay, this will help you to write snippets based on just few shortcuts. Okay, like if you just write ng hyphen, then you will find some shortcuts to directly create a component or service. Okay, there are like test snippets. All of these are there. Shortcuts are there. You can go through the shortcuts later on. Okay, and you can also generate a component just by typing ng hyphen component. You can see the GIF here available. So you can just type ng hyphen component and the entire component code will also be generated. Okay, actually this is not required because when we create a component through CLI, then that part, this is not required. Okay, so but yeah, some of the
Sir,
things. Yes.
sir, थोड़ा फास्ट हो रहा
Oh, sorry. Okay. So yeah, this Angular 10 snippets. Okay, so which we have installed. This will give you some snippets. Okay, the snippets are basically for TypeScript, HTML, and CSS as well. Okay, and it will be like NGRX and RxJS that we will learn later on. So for that also it will be helpful. And this like we will find ng for ng if, so for that also this will be useful. Okay, so these are just extensions. Okay, so you can install these extensions to write a code which where it will be helpful to write a uh, just by typing some characters you will get a code, entire code. Okay. So you can install this if required, if you are required, and also TypeScript Emmet. Okay, this Emmet actually I don't know whether you guys know Emmet or not. This is Emmet when you write a HTML code or CSS code. This will be helpful for you. Okay, so let's say I have one file here. Okay, I just create one file. Okay, and if I select a language, HTML. Okay, so here if I just type exclamation and tab, you can see the entire HTML is generated. Now this is because of this Emmet. Okay, now this Emmet command tool is actually uh, inbuilt in VS Code. Okay, but if you are working with Angular, okay, so in Angular what we do is we sometimes we write a HTML code inside TypeScript class file itself, component itself. So in that, if you need this Emmet, okay, then we can use this Angular to TypeScript Emmet. Okay, so it will be helpful, right? You can see the template when you're writing a template. Inside that, you can write the Emmet commands. Okay, so these commands like if you just want to write UL, so you can just type UL and the entire opening and closing tag will be generated for you. If you just write UL and inside that if you want li, you can just type UL li and it will generate. Is it okay if you install Emmet and uninstall HTML snippet extension? If it is helpful in HTML. Uninstall HTML snippet extension. Yeah, that's fine. Project name you can give whatever you want. Okay, yes, it's up to you. It's fine, Johara. You can uninstall HTML snippet extension. Emmet will basically help you to have like all those HTML snippets. But if you need HTML snippet, that's also fine. Okay. So here you can see if I want to generate 3 times li, I can just write into 3 and type tab. It will generate 3 li's inside a UI. Okay. And if you want to add a class to li, you can just type dot, let's say active, something like this, and then type then after 3, and just type tab, all the this all the HTML will be generated for you. Okay, so this Emmet is used for that purpose. Okay, just to write a code in the fast. So you can use this, and yeah, rest all snippets are if required you can download it. Okay, otherwise those are not required. But these two I will recommend: TypeScript Emmet and 10 snippets. Okay. So once you install Angular and once you create an Angular application, okay. So this is the directory structure that you will find. Okay. Now, first of all, you should understand what is this directory structure is, because when you are developing an Angular, okay, you're creating an Angular application, but Angular is a framework. Okay. So when framework is there, then you need to understand what is the directory structure, where my files should go, okay, where my component should go, where my module should go. So I should know the directory structure for that. Okay, so let's understand what all files are generated for us by Angular, okay, and then we will deep down into the project. Okay, I will not explain all the files. Okay, some of the files I will keep them as it is, because once we come to that particular section, that time I will explain you that particular file. Okay, so you can see there are like 4 folders created. One is node modules, so this is not required because it's like packages are installed into this node modules. Okay, so whatever packages that are required will be installed in node modules that is related to Node.js or npm. Now let's start with the files. We will have a src folder. .vs code is just for a VS code, like it's just extension. Okay, so we are not required to do anything inside this. There is a .angular folder. It is just used for a caching purpose. So whatever code that we will run, so most of the time some of the codes are cached and they will be served when as it is. Okay, whenever you make changes, the cache will be replaced. Okay, so that's because of the to create a fast build, Angular is maintaining that cache. Okay, you don't need to worry about this folder as well. Okay, most of the important folder is src. Okay, we will see that, but let's see from top bottom to top what are the files are available. So first file is tsconfig.spec.json. Whenever you see any file with .spec, okay, it is related to testing. Okay, so it is related to testing. So this configuration, configuration is related to TypeScript, but only for test files. Okay, not for all the files. Okay, so we just don't have to worry about this because we are not going to run any test cases. Just we'll have one tsconfig.json file and there is a tsconfig.app.json file. Okay. Now, when you say Angular framework, in the Angular framework, you can create multiple projects inside one application. Okay. So we have this store application. Inside this store application, I can create multiple projects. Okay. So those projects can be like, you can find this app you can consider it as a one project. So we can have one more project inside this, and that project can have its own configuration. Okay, so this tsconfig.app.json that you are seeing here, it is for this app folder. Okay, and if you have another project, then you can create one more tsconfig.app.json. Okay, for now it is not required for you to know like how to create it, because that is a most advanced version. If you have a like microservice based architecture and you have a various microservices and it's a front-end microservice, okay, then in that case you will require to create multiple projects inside an application. Okay, but for now it's fine. Okay, but what is this configuration file? It is, as you know, it's a TS config. That means is the configuration is related to TypeScript. Okay. So whatever configuration is written over here, okay, will be applied to TypeScript files. Okay, or the build that you are going to create from this TypeScript file. Okay, so you can see the base URL, compiler options are there. So you will see a base URL. So whenever there is a means whenever you create a build, this will be the base URL. So the dot slash means what? This is the current folder. Output directory. So whenever the TypeScript files are converted to a JavaScript file, those will be generated inside this slash out TSC folder. Okay, they will be removed once their build is created. So you don't have to worry about it. And these are like some of the configurations. You don't need to go each and every into detail. Okay, but yeah, some like to target like your application will be generated with like ES 2020. ES 2020, as I explained you, is like a ECMAScript specification. So most of the code will be generated based on the ES 2020 format. Okay, and there is Angular compiler options are also available, like enable strict templates and all this stuff. Okay, for now, just ignore them. Okay, then we have a app.json file. So if you see in app.json file, it is extending tsconfig.json file. That means all the configurations which are available in tsconfig will be available in tsconfig.app.json, and some of the things will be overwritten. You can see compiler in the compiler options, output directory is overwritten. Okay, so you can find it here, and also like files include, so which all files should be included to convert to a JavaScript file. So you can see in src folder whatever it's there, so .d .ts, so all will be compiled to a JavaScript file. Okay, so this is configuration for your application. Then there is a readme file. This is just for readme GitHub purpose that we use. Then we have a package.json file. So this package.json file is created by Node.js. And if you know Node, then this package.json file just contains all the packages, dependencies that are required for your application. As you can see, we have Angular, Common, Compiler, Core. All of these dependencies are mentioned here. Okay, along with RxJS and all. We have a dev dependencies as well. Dev dependencies are just used for development dependencies. So when you create a production build, this dependence will not be included in your final build. Okay, but for development purpose we will need this, because to create a build we'll obviously need a build tool. To run test cases we'll need this Jasmine or Jasmine Core Karma. Okay, all of these are test related tools. To create a JavaScript from TypeScript we'll need a TypeScript, but that will be in the development itself. In production we are not going to use TypeScript. In the production ultimately the JavaScript file is going to run, right? So this dependencies section will be omitted when you create a production. So this is dependency section, and then there are script section. So here you can define scripts for your to run any Angular application or to create a build, or if you want to write any other scripts, you can write them. Okay. So when you run ngserve, okay, to run your application, what we type is we type ng serve, okay, to serve your application. And to open the browser when your application is served, you can type -o, which will open the browser. Okay, now this same command you can find it here as well in the start. Okay, script start. So if you run npm start as well, okay, npm start, it's an npm script command. Okay, so if you run npm start, so it will run internally this ngserve command, and you can see it is running ngserve. Okay, so sometimes if you find that if this ng command is not running, okay, then in that case you can type npm start, and what it will do is it will create a node environment for you, and in that node environment it will run this ngserve command. So your ngserve will be found in your node modules, so it will run automatically. Okay, I can see your application is compiled successfully. Now you can go to localhost 4200 page, and then you can find your application is running successfully. Okay, if you see this page, that means your application, Angular application, is created successfully. So that's what this script section is. Package.json file is there also there, but it is related with package.json. So all the sub dependencies will be mentioned here. Okay, we will not go in deep into that. It's related to the knowledges. This karma config is related to your testing test case related. Okay, so whatever the test configuration is there, this will be written over here. Okay, and then I'll come to angular.json. We have a get ignore just for a GitHub purpose. There we have a editor config. This is for editor, whichever you are using for configuration, editor configuration purposes. Browser list RC basically contains the browsers which will be supported by your Angular application. So this is not for us. This is for like browsers itself. Okay, so we won't go into detail. We have an angular.json file. Okay, we'll come to this file when we come to section called as build and deployment. So when we try to deploy our application on production and create a build production build, at that time we will come to this angular.json file and we'll see what all features are available in this. Okay, but for now we can just see like we have multiple projects. So as I told you, in an application, in a single application, you can have multiple projects. Okay, so we have a store project, okay, which is actually pointing your source root to src folder. Okay, so this is your src folder. Okay, and insert, please increase fonts. Oh, sorry. Is it enough now? But I guess this is enough now. 16 pixel I can measure. Yeah, okay. So yeah, here you can see like project type. This is the application. Sometimes you can create your application as a library also. So in that case, you can write project type as library. Okay, but for now we are writing it as an application. Okay, so here you can explain your all the projects, and from that the default project. Okay, which you can set it is like there will be some default. I think they have removed it from here, but the default project will be the project which is here. Okay, there is a one more option I guess, but they have removed I guess default project. In 14 they have removed it. So there is like from multiple projects you can select which project to be a default project. So that option is there. Maybe they have moved some into some other configuration file. Okay, so in this project you can see the root is nothing but a blank. That means this is your current root directory. Source root means wherever you are writing a code, so that's a src directory here. And the prefix app, okay, this you may not understand right now, but when we create a component module directives, okay, so your components directives will be prefixed with this. Okay, this whatever you write it here. Okay, you can customize it, you can write your own prefix, or you can write like if you are working for a company, you can change this prefix to that company. Okay, so that way. Okay, so this prefix will basically make your component unique. Okay, because you may have like same name of component. Okay, let's say you have a highlight component, and that highlight component maybe you are using some third party library, and that third party library also has highlight component. Then there will be clashes. Okay, so Angular will not know which component should be picked up. So in that case, you can have a prefix. So if you have a, let's say, AB hyphen highlight, and if that other component has an app hyphen component. So if you are using AB hyphen highlight, then your component will be picked up. Okay. So this prefix can be important when you have a like multiple components, or you are using third party libraries and maybe the component name is same. In that case, this prefix will be helpful. Okay. So in our case also, we can change it if you need it. Okay, and then we have an architect. So build will be created using these options. Okay, output directory will be test and all this. Okay, there is a assets section. So asset section will basically define the assets or raw files, images, whatever are there. You can define them here so that they can be directly accessible through URL. Okay, by default, what happens is that you cannot access any of this file or any of this folder directly through URL. That means if you see like src directory is there. Okay, then we have a main.ts or app file. So if you go here and write slash src, it's not accessible. Okay, you will directly see this page because these folders are not directly accessible. But if you want to access this favicon.ico, this is a set. Okay, sometimes we need images and raw files directly accessible through url. Then in that case we can use this assets section. Okay, so in this you can directly say like favicon.ico. I guess should be like this. Okay, so you can directly see localhost colon 4200. If I say favicon.ico, then I can be able to see the favicon. Okay, favicon is nothing but this icon. Okay, so you can use this asset section. We will see asset section later on again, and here you can define your styles. Okay, so this will be like global styles and the global scripts here. So this is your configure angular.json file. For now, just understand this much. Okay, when we come to build and deploy section, we can see other options as well. Okay, so this is the angular.json file. And now let's see the src folder, which is the most important folder. Okay, so here we are going to do the coding part. Okay, so test.ts, obviously it is for testing purpose. We have a styles.stss. You can add your global styles in this file. Okay, see, you can add global styles to this file and also import other style files. Okay, so if you have like if you want to use bootstrap, then you can use bootstrap here. You can import it here. Okay, if you want to use another other global styles, you can import them here or just write styling here itself. So if you want to add a body background color, you can add body background color in the styles.stss. Okay, so this is like a global style. It will be applied to all the components, all the directives, whichever you are using. Okay, will be applied to all. Okay, so this is a global. And we can have a component based style as well. We will see that later on. Polyfills is just to use for browser polyfills. So like all the browser doesn't support all the features. Okay, so for that purpose we have this polyfills file. Okay, we don't have to do anything with this. Okay, we don't even change anything inside this. Okay, it's not recommended actually. We have a fab icon which we saw just now. Okay, this angular icon, and we have a index.html file and main.ts file. These are the two files which are important files because when you serve your application through localhost colon 4200, you will see the index.html file. Okay, now in this index.html file you will find like all the other links are there. Okay, but in the body section you don't have anything. There is some tag which is not known by html, which is some weird tag like app root. Okay, but where is this coming from? Where this entire code is coming or where this html is coming? Okay, this html we haven't written in the index.html file. Then from where it is coming? Okay, it is coming from the component. Okay, you will find that component in app folder, and from there it is coming. Okay, we will see how to create a component, how to create a module from the scratch itself. Okay, so I'm going to remove all of this thing and I'm going to start it from the scratch. Okay, you don't have to do it for each and every project. Why I'm doing it for this project? Because you should know how the Angular works internally. Okay, and how the Angular is structured. Okay, so that's why I will remove all of this and then we'll start with scratch. Okay, but this index.html file, this you will see that in your entire application, you will see there is only this file which will have HTML head and body section. Okay, rest all of the files. Okay, even if you go for app.component.html, you'll find that there is style section, there is a div section, there is this div section, but there is no body HTML or head content. Okay, why is this so? Okay, because Angular by default runs single page application. How many of you know SPA, single page application?
I do.
Yeah, what's up?
Yes, I know.
Okay, good. Can you explain?
A single page application means there is just like the server. I mean, the server will render only one page,
Hmm.
and the content of the page will be dynamically rendered with the help of JavaScript
Correct,
as the user will interact with the page.
correct,
But there won't be any reloading of the page. Just
correct.
content will be changed.
That's correct. See, single page application. When I say single page application, okay. First of all, understand that single page applications means that it is same as landing page. Yeah, you can say, but single page application mostly used for dynamic applications as well. Okay, so landing page only has a static page, so we cannot consider it as a single page application. Okay, when I'm saying single page application, that means it's an application. Okay, so it's not a static website. So when I say single page application, that means in your entire application there is only one document, one HTML document. Okay, all other are just parts of that document. All other are just parts or like some HTML components or HTML tags of that entire document. Okay, so if you want to check the website, okay, or let's say example, so I'll say just open itvedant.com, okay, and let's see what happens. Okay, if I open a console and if I go to network tab, okay, let's go to all, and if I refresh my page, okay, you'll find that just zoom out a bit, refresh. You'll see that all of the pages like your font file, uh, the image files, okay, images are okay, but like font files, then css file, custom.css, okay, then jquery js, bootstrap js, okay, all of these files are loaded. Okay, so first time we can consider that these files are loaded, but when I go to another page, let's say if I go to, let's say, data science and AI with AWS. Okay. Now, in this case, if you refresh your page, if you go to that page, you can see that this TTF file is again loaded. Okay. Now, if you want to check, I'll just clear this out and then again I'll go to another page. Let's go to business data analysis. Okay. Now, if you see, you'll see the TTF file is again loaded. The font file is again loaded. Okay, even the HTML file is also loaded with CSS as well. You can see jQuery also loaded again, bootstrap, anime, all of these things, custom.css, main.css, all of these are loaded again. Okay, whether they are required to load again, was it required? You can see that my header, okay, the header, even the breadcrumb and the footer itself, okay, footer and all, these are remaining same for each and every page. You can check it out. If I go to home page, okay, you can see the header is same. I have same menus, okay, even if I go to the footer section, the footer is also same. Okay, so was it required to load all of these things? Was it? No, right? Because obviously if you are loading all of these things, okay, you can, like, there are caching mechanism as well. You can cache those files, okay, in browser, and they are loaded fast. Okay, but still you can see like it took around 6 seconds to load entire thing. Okay, and 100 requests were there. Okay, if you have a low internet connection, then obviously this is going to take some time. Okay, so although these all files, HTML, TTF files or font files, these are like same. They are going to remain same. I can go to each and every page. They are going to remain same, but they are not required to be loaded again and again for each and every page. Okay, so this is called as multi-page application. This happens because we have multiple HTML pages or multiple HTML documents. Okay, so when you say multiple HTML documents means what? You have multiple HTML pages which has HTML tags, head tag, body tag. So when you have multiple HTML tags, that means you have multiple HTML documents. Okay, and uh, let's go to another website. Let's say Drive, Google Drive. Okay. So when I say Google Drive, okay, so when I loaded this Google Drive, you can see that I'll just open this one. Okay. So you can see like CSS, API.js, these are loaded. Okay, that's fine. Lazy.min.js, design.js, okay, all are loaded. That's fine. Okay, but if I clear this out, okay, and yeah, it's still loading. It's fine. Okay, but if I go to, let's say, another page or another, let's say, folder. Okay, let's say Angular folder. Now, if you see, if I go to this folder, this section is refreshed. Okay, and even you can see the font files, CSS files are not loading again. They are already loaded. They are already loaded, and some new files or new JS files, new HTML files, CSS files are loading. Okay, if I go again back, you can see that no new files are loading. Okay, sorry, no like existing files are loading. Only new files are loading. Okay, so that's called as single page application. So whenever you have a single page application, you can basically keep your rest of the content as it is. Only the part which is changing, you can just add that, remove that, replace that, okay, with some other content. Okay, so that time what happens is like now if I go to like Angular 5.7 lecture, okay, you'll see that my entire like page has not reloaded. First of all, you cannot see the refresh link here. Okay, if refresh icon here, you can go to other page. You can see the content is dynamically changing. Only this part is changing. Rest for left side bar, your top bar, right side bar, all are remaining same. Okay, this means you are running single page application. Okay, and this happens when you have only single HTML document. Okay, when you have a single HTML document, you only need to replace the content inside body tag, or you can say you have a body tag, inside that you have a top bar, you have a footer, and there is a middle content. You just need to change that middle content. You can change it. Okay, but you are not changing the entire HTML document. Okay, that's the reason in Angular you will find only this file which has the HTML document. Okay, rest all the files will not have this HTML document. Okay, got it. So this is the single page application. So everyone understood what a single page application is? So only one URL will be there? No. You can see like when I go to Google Drive, my URL is my drive. If I go to any other page, you can see that URL is changed. So with just changing URL also, you can make your single page application. Now how this happens is basically when you change the URL, okay, when you click on any link, so there is a browser's default behavior. What is the browser's default behavior is when you click on any of the link, it will refresh the page, or let's say it will go to that page and it will load that entire HTML document. So what Angular does is Angular intercept into that. When you click on any link, Angular intercepts into that particular behavior, and then it adds its own code. There's a JavaScript location object. Location object can be used to change the URL. Okay, so using that location object, Angular changes this URL, and then it basically adds, removes, or replaces the content or component that we have specified. Okay, so in this way, it is basically doing single page application. Okay, got it. So URL can be changed. Okay, so understood everyone what a single page application is? Okay, great. Now, okay, cool. Now this is the index HTML file. Okay, and we will learn about this custom tag that we have created. This is nothing but a component. Okay, we will see that what is that component is. Okay, and that how this HTML is basically coming there. Okay, this HTML is coming because when I say this app root component, okay, this tag, okay, this tag should be defined somewhere. Okay, this tag is defined in your app component TS file as a selector. So from here it is loading the HTML file. Here we are connecting the tag name and template HTML. So when I say app root anywhere here, so it will just load the HTML which is linked to that component. Okay, that's why we see this page. Okay, so we are going to remove it. Don't worry. Okay, and we'll come again. This environment section is also there. Environment section is used for various environments, like you have a development environment, production environment, staging environment, QA environment, testing environment. Various environments can be there in your application. So that time you can use this environments folder. We'll see this later on in the build and deployment section. Also in the services section, also you'll see it. Okay. Right now, just keep it as it. And this is the asset section where you can keep your raw files, images, or videos, documents, PDFs, all the files. Okay. And this is your app folder, which is the most important folder because here you are going to write the entire code. Whatever there are like modules, components, directives, whatever we are going to develop, we'll be doing it inside app folder. Okay. Because it's your main project. Okay. Now let's come back to main.ts file. So when you say when you run your application, there should be some entry point, right? So your entry point for HTML is nothing but index.html. So through index.html, your application runs. Okay. But what will be the entry point for JavaScript? The entry point for JavaScript will be main.ts file. Okay. This main.ts file is converted into JavaScript file. Okay. So when I say JavaScript file, you can inspect this one and check it in the element section. Below this, you will find a main.js file, which is actually the when you convert this TypeScript to a JavaScript, so this JavaScript file contains the code. Okay. Along with that, it also contains other components as well. Okay. This JavaScript also is contained into that main.js file. Okay. So it's like a combination of multiple components and JavaScript file. Okay, main JavaScript. So this is the entry point for your JavaScript. Rest all are like runtime JS, polyfill, styles JS, Twinter.js. These are for Angular related. Okay, we don't have to worry about any of them. Okay, but this main.js is the JavaScript file, which is the entry point. Okay, so when I say entry point, so it will basically enter through this JavaScript file. But as I told you, Angular basically consists of various modules, components. Okay, so there should be some root module through which the Angular can enter your application. Okay, so this is like a JavaScript file through which we are coming to your JavaScript. Okay, and there is a module that is required. Okay, that module, your Angular application should always have a root module. Okay, because that is the module which will contain like a lot of other things like components, other modules. It can contain providers. It can contain like various other things. Okay, so that is the important module, and that will be your root module. Okay, now from Angular 14 onwards, they have also introduced like standalone component section, okay, which is still in beta. Okay, maybe in Angular 15 onwards, they may introduce standalone components, but right now, just don't worry about it because that will take some time to incorporate into the application. Because till now, all the applications are created with Angular module itself. There was no concept called a standalone component. Okay, but to make life easier for developers, they are introducing now new feature called as standalone component. Okay, but don't worry about it for now. Okay, later on when you have a time, you can go through it. Okay, standalone components, like you don't have to include components inside module; they can be like independent. Okay, but for now, just understand that your entry point is through app module. Okay, that's why when you see the main.ts file, there are some imports are there, and there is a if condition. So if you have a production environment, then you are just enabling prod mode, okay, which will basically do some production related stuff. Okay, so and then there is a platform browser dynamic, okay, which is imported from an Angular platform browser dynamic. Okay, and then the function is called, and with that we call bootstrap module. It's like a yeah, bootstrap, like when you say bootstrap means what? Okay, when you say like Windows machine, so we say my machine is booting. Okay, so booting means what? Like we are like when you say boot basically our boot starts from your hard disk. It can start from your pen drive. Okay, so you can boot from any of the hardware. Okay, so here we are booting our application from this app module. Okay, so there can be like various entry points, but for our application, this is the module through which we are booting our Angular application. Okay, so that's why this app module. And if there are any errors, then they will be cached and print into the console log. So if there are any errors, they will be printed here. We will see those errors. Okay, in short. So this is your app module, and this is the app module. Okay, I'm going to remove this entire code. Okay, and we'll start from the scratch. Okay, and all of these components. Okay, so I'm going to remove this and deleting. Now I'll come back to app module and I will delete this as well. Okay. So when I say main.ts file, I'm going to get an error. Okay, there will be a lot of errors. Okay. Now we are going to fix all of them. Okay. But till now, any questions or anything, any doubts related to the directive structure of Angular, or is it clear for everyone?
Here.
Clear? Okay. Okay. Now, great. Now let's create our first module. Okay. So the module is already created, file is already there. Okay. Now, when you create any module, okay, just follow the naming convention. It's not required or it's not a hard code rule, okay, to write a naming convention. But if you use naming convention, it will be based on the name itself. Okay, because there will be a lot of components or modules will be used when you create an enterprise level application. There will be like hundreds of components will be there. There can be like 50, 60 modules will be there. Okay, so to manage those modules and components or search anything or debug your code, okay, it will become difficult if you don't write using naming convention. Okay, if I write abc.module, so what this module contains, okay, what does this module do, I will not be able to understand, right? So by just by name itself, I can say that this is the module and what does this code do. Okay, so you should have a proper naming convention. Okay, so as you can see, when you create a module, you should always suffix it with module.ts. Okay, and since we are developing app module, so I'll write app.module.ts. Okay, so in this module, we are going to create a class. So let's create a class and it will be app module. Okay, here. Now this class, so this is just a class now. This is not an Angular module. Okay, when we are creating a class, this is just a class. To make it Angular module, okay, we have to annotate it with @ng module decorator. Okay, these are the decorators. Decorators basically add some extra information to your class or functions or variables that you declare. Okay, so this ng module will basically tell your Angular that this class is going to be an Angular module. Okay, and it can have some metadata. Metadata in the sense it will have some configuration related things or some data which can be used to create that module or which can be used later on in the module itself. Okay, so that is the metadata. That metadata you can specify in this brackets, okay, curly braces. So here you can specify an object. Okay, that object can have multiple parameters. Okay, let's see most important parameters or most used parameters. So there is a declarations array. Okay, so this is a declarations array. Declarations array is used to uh, declare all the components, directives, okay, and pipes. Okay. So whatever, so we are going to declare, create components, pipes, and directives later on in the application. So all the components which are for this module should be declared in this array. Okay. So components, directives, and pipes, which we are going to add later on, will be declared in this declarations array. Okay, so it is important, okay, till Angular 14. Okay, after Angular 15 I'm not sure, because once they include a standalone component, then in that case the declarations will not be required. Okay, but for now just understand that whatever components, directives, and pipes that you are going to declare should go inside declarations array. Okay, and they should be in any one of the module. Okay, so if you have two modules and there is a one component, then that component should go into any one of the module. Okay, either it can go for into app module or it can go to another module. But wherever it goes, it will be only accessible inside that module only. Okay, we can obviously export it to other modules. Okay, for that we have exports array. Okay, for that we have exports array. So when you have a components modules which are basically declared in another module, okay, components, directives, pipes, and modules as well. Okay, from other module. Okay. So if you have components, directives, pipes, and modules from other modules are there, and you want to use them in this module, then you can like, or no, sorry, like two other modules, not from other modules, like two other modules. So if you want to export components, directives, and pipes from this module to another module, then you can use this exports array. And if you want to use uh, modules from other module, okay, or components, directives, and pipes from other module, then in that case, you can use imports array. Okay. So here you can import other modules components. Okay. So here you will see later on. Okay. So and yeah, one more thing, you will need one more array, which is bootstrap array. There is one more array, providers array. Okay. So providers array basically is like you can provide services. Okay. Or basically like interceptors. Okay, we will see those later on. Services, interceptors, what all these things are. Okay, so it's like we are just providing. For now, just uh, consider that we can provide services or interceptors here. Okay, later on we will see what are these. Okay, and then we have a bootstrap. We can also provide other things as well. Okay, but for now, just consider providers. We have a bootstrap array. Now this bootstrap array will contain component or components, okay, as a component or components, okay, which will be bootstrapped, okay, which will be entry point, you can say. Entry point for Angular. Okay, so this is like a first component that you are going to display when your application loads. Okay, so here you can specify one or more components. Okay, so but generally we use only one component. Okay, so that component will be displayed. Okay, but this component, okay, this bootstrap array will be used in app module only. Okay, it cannot be used with any other module. App module means root module. This can be only used with root module. This bootstrap array cannot be used with any other module, because as you can see, it's a bootstrap. So and your app module is only bootstrap. Okay, so you can only bootstrap from app module. You cannot bootstrap from any other module. Okay, so these are the arrays or metadata. Okay, we'll see each metadata, and we will add content into this metadata gradually. Okay, but if you do this, okay, and if you come here in main.ts file, you can see there was error on this line before. Okay, because there was nothing uh, exported from here. Now here you will see app module. Okay, app module. Although I have declared app module here, okay, I'm specifying correct path here, like dot current directory slash app. In that we have an app module, and from that I'm importing app module. Okay, but still it is giving me error, because when you hover over it, you will see module declares app modules locally, but it is not exported. Okay, so if you want to import anything from any other file, you should export it as well. Okay, otherwise this class or this variable or function that you declare here will be private to this file itself. Okay, they will not be accessible outside of this file. Okay, so if you want to access this app module class outside of this file, you should export it. Okay, so when you export it, you can import it as well. Now the error has been gone. Okay, now there are no errors here, but when you run your application here, you'll see some of the errors are coming here. Okay, so it is saying no error handler. Is platform module, browser module included? Okay, so browser module is required for every Angular application. Okay, and that will be imported from your root module itself. Now, what it is saying is this platform module, browser module included. So browser module is for each and every browser, because there are like some JavaScript features are there which are basically used by Angular. Okay, and all of these features are not available for on all the browsers. Okay, to support those features, so we need this browser module. Along with that, we also have like ngIf, ngFor, like we have some custom predefined pipes also. Okay, so those all will be included in this browser module. Okay, although they are declared in other modules, but that module is basically exported from this browser module. So we will require this browser module. Okay, so this is a must. Okay, so you should import this browser module. So where should I add it? We should add it inside imports array. Okay, because this is a different model, right? You can see it's uh, outside model. Like you can say, although it's an Angular model, but it's a third-party model, not our application model, right? So this browser module is needed. So we should import it. And as I told you, you can import components, directives, pipes, and modules from other module as well. So you can import it here. So here you can say browser module. Okay. So you can just type in and you will see the import will automatically happen here. Okay. So import is actually from @angular/platform-browser. Okay. Now it's imported. Let's save it and let's see next error that is coming. Now it will be refreshed. Now you'll see other errors. Okay. The module app module was bootstrap, but it does not declare bootstrap components nor a bootstrap method. Okay. So it's let's see. So module is deployed, but there is no component which is bootstrap, right? We have declared bootstrap array in your module, but there is no component bootstrap here. Okay. So that means we need to create a component. Okay. So let's create a component and then bootstrap it and let's see the error. I'll create a component here. I'll create a new file app.component.ts. Okay. I can see I'm using the you can see the naming convention. Okay. The app.component.ts. So it's a component file. So I'm declaring it as component.ts. Okay. Now here component is again a class. So I'll say component and I'm declaring it as a class. And you know, when you declare a class, you should always write a Pascal case. Okay, so first letter is capital, small, and then first letter of every word should be capital. Okay, this is called as Pascal case. Now I need to use this class in app module, so that means I need to export it as well. So I'll just do export here. Okay, and since this is just a class, it is not a component right now. Okay, I want to make it component, Angular component, so I need to annotate it. Okay, so I can decorate it with @component decorator. Okay, so decorator, component decorator, basically it's again same thing. So decorator, okay, it will add some uh, like code or tell Angular that this is a component. Okay, this class is a component. Okay, and it will also have some metadata. Okay, some in component the metadata, some of the metadata is required. Okay, compulsory. In module, when I declared curly braces, empty curly braces, not all of these are required. Okay, but in component, some of the things are required. Okay, you can just type control space. You will find all of the metadata that is here. And when you say a question mark means those all are optional. Okay, and those actually have not declared here. Okay, all of them are optional, but still it is telling me there. Okay, no worries. So here, first thing that you need to assign is nothing but a template. Okay, so you should define a template, what it should display. Okay, let's say I'll just add a h1 tag here, h1, and I will say my shop. Okay, I'll say my shop, and this is the one thing that you need to declare. Okay, any component. Okay, but this component I need to use it as a tag. Okay, so I need to define a selector for it. Okay, the selector basically is nothing but a tag name. Okay, so as we have a h1 tag, so we can define a tag name here. And as I told you, the tag and component which we create, okay, they should have a prefix, and that prefix is actually defined over here. Okay, so this prefix we should maintain. Okay, so we can write prefix app hyphen. Okay, we can say, let's say root. Okay, the same name that we have used, let's say app hyphen shop. Okay. I'll say identify shop. Okay, so this is my tag name. Okay. I'll save it. Okay, and I need to bootstrap it here, right? So as I told you, when you create any component, okay, it should be declared in declarations array. Okay, so first thing that you need to do is first declare it inside the declarations array. So I'll write app component. So it will be automatically imported over here. Okay, and then you should bootstrap it as well, because at least one component should be bootstrap. Okay, you can do bootstrap many components, but one component should be bootstrap. Okay, so let's bootstrap it app component. Okay, so my component is bootstrap. I've also declared it. Now let's save it and see what happens. So you can see I have refreshed my page, and now you can see could not find template file app component.html. Okay, so it is throwing some errors and all those things. Okay, so it does not declare bootstrap components, not bootstrap. Please define one of this. And then there are some errors like could not find template file. Okay, because we haven't defined our template file here. We are just defining template. Okay, but the error is actually coming because we have app root here. Okay, and we have declared tag name as app shop. Okay, so let's just replace it with our own app shop and save it, and let's see. Still showing me could not find template file. Directive compound or a pipe, either remove it from the ng models declarations. I don't know, this used to work before. Template, component, declarations. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll just add a template file here. Okay, previously it used to work, but I think they might have removed it. So you can define app.component.html here, and you can just move this code here. Okay, so and here you can define template URL. Okay, in the template URL, we need to write a path to the template URL. Okay, the path is nothing but ./app.component.html. I can save it, and now if you see refresh, now you will see my shop. Okay, I think it is required to use template URL now. Okay, previously in Angular 13 till Angular 13, we can use template. Okay, but now it is saying that you should use template URL, so that's required. Okay, so you can say template URL here, and you can define your HTML file here, and in this you can write any HTML file. Now you can just link that HTML file to your component using template URL, and then you can specify the path to your template URL. Okay, so which is nothing but current directory, so ./app.component.html. So whatever is here will be displayed here. Okay, you can see in the element section, you can see this here, this is your app shop tag, and you can see the ng version tag attribute which is added here, 14.1.3. Okay, that means your Angular application starts from your app shop tag. Okay, so in this only your Angular will work. Outside of this, Angular will not work. Okay, so that means if I create any component and if I access that component outside of this app shop, it will not work. Okay, even this app shop tag I can only use once because it's bootstrap. Okay, the app component is bootstrap. So if I try to use app shop again here, okay, it will only work for first one, second one will not work. Okay, you can check it out. Refresh, you will see first one only works because here only your Angular resides. After that, Angular doesn't work. So Angular only works in the single root element. Okay, outside of the root element, Angular doesn't work. Okay, that's why you will not see my shop or h1 my shop inside my app shop. Okay, so that's how you can run your Angular application or create your first module and create your first component. Got it, everyone? How to create, how an Angular module is created and how your component is created. show the TS file. Which TS file? Main.ts or which one?
Component.ts. Yeah, this.
This one. So you guys should also do it. Okay, I'll just keep the code here. Okay, just let me know if you. Just remove all the stuffs and add app.module.ts, app.component.ts, and app.component.html. Okay, and add this code into them. We will add some things gradually now.
In component file also we can like we are not able to render template, right?
Uh, Here, yeah,
Yes. Now we can do that. The issue was we didn't add app component in Bootstrap array.
I had added here before.
Previously when we were having the issue, no,
Okay, so
at
I'll
that
say
point of
template
time.
here. Let's say template here. I think, maybe sometimes what happens is like, yeah, you're correct. Uh, I need to restart my application, okay? Because sometimes this doesn't work. Now it will work. See, okay. Sometimes what happens is like I need to restart this, okay? Because this was there before, okay? I actually checked whether it was bootstrapped or not because when I declared it, I bootstrapped it as well. Okay. So this was there, but this was not working because sometimes what happens is the Angular, when I build it, it doesn't picks up the file. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's the reason you need to restart it. Okay. So if you restart it again, it will work. Okay. But right now, you can see that without template URL also it is working. So yeah, that's good catch. Thanks. Jose. Yeah, but now you can use template URL itself. Okay. It doesn't matter if you use template or template URL. That's fine.
Done.
Done?
sir.
Okay. What about others? Rajesh, Tagore, Rishikesh, Lohara.
Can you please show the code, sir?
Which one you want?
Not done.
This one?
App.comp.
This one?
How do we run this file, sir? How do we start the server?
You can start it using ng serve command. Okay. You can type ng serve, or you can type npm start as well. Okay. npm start will internally run ng serve. If ng serve doesn't work for you, you can use npm start. Done? Yeah, done? Okay. If nobody is responding, then I think done. So let's move ahead. So now we have created our first component. Okay, we have also created our first module. Okay, now let's do some work on the component. Okay, and then we'll see later. So now we have a component. Okay, and we also have a component HTML file. Okay, now as we have seen, like in the first lecture, Angular uses expressive HTML. Okay. Now, what is this expressive HTML? Expressive HTML means like Angular's HTML is dynamic. Okay. And dynamic means what? It has a template rendering engine. Okay. So you can define a template, and using that template, you can just change the data, and it will change the content. Okay. It will just display the structure as it is. Only the content can be changed. Okay. Now, how can we define this? Okay, let's say we have a variable here. Okay, let's say title. I'll say title as my shop. Okay, and I want to use this title here. Okay, instead of writing that statically as my shop, I want to use it as dynamic. Okay, how can I do it? So for this, you can use Angular string interpolation. Okay, string interpolation means what? Like you can just write your JavaScript expression inside double curly braces. Okay, whatever you write inside double curly braces will be considered as JavaScript expression. Expression means what? I can write a variable. Okay, variable is title. Okay, I can write title. So this since your component, okay, is linked with your template URL, okay, which is app.component.html. These variables or functions or whatever you define inside this component will be accessible inside HTML. Okay, so this title variable is also accessible here. So you can, when you define a title, if you define it in a curly braces, the value of title will be displayed here. Okay, you can check. See, my shop is displayed here. Okay, so if I want to just, let's say I want to change the my shop to my store. Okay, I can change it a TypeScript file. It will be displayed here, my store. Okay, so you can do dynamic content from here to here, and as you can see, this is called a string interpolation. Okay, now as I told you, string interpolation is nothing but a Java expression itself. So let's say if I do 6 plus 4 here, okay, so it will be evaluated, its value will become 10 and the 10 will be printed here. Let's see the 10. Okay, so this is like a expression. So whatever expression that you write inside this will be evaluated. Even if you have a function, okay, you cannot declare a function, but if you have a function inside a class and you want to call that function from your HTML file, you can call that function. Okay, so this is like a expression. So you can evaluate that expression. Okay, it's just an expression. Okay, expression doesn't consist of a declaration. Okay, so you cannot declare anything, but yeah, whatever is declared here, we can use it here. Okay, and let's say if you want to declare a string, or let's say static string, you can just write it inside a single quote or double quote. Okay, so if I say hello here, so whatever you write inside single quote will be displayed as it is. Okay, and if you are not declaring with using single quote or double quotes, okay, so it will be considered as a variable. Okay, and if it doesn't find your variable inside a class, it will throw an error. Okay, so you'll get an error. Property hello does not exist on type app component. It is already telling you that this hello is not a property of app component, and we haven't declared it. Okay, so this will throw an error. So now editor also supports it, because when you say this, editor gives you this error. Okay, so editor also supports this, so this type of errors you can avoid now. Okay, previously editor doesn't support this type of errors. Okay, but now editor supports it because of Angular 14, or let's say 12, after 12 onwards. Okay, because it has a quite build tool or linting mechanism. Okay. So that's how you can display a variable in HTML. Got it? Got it? This string interpolation. What is string interpolation is? All right. That's stuff here. If you want to concatenate also, you can concatenate it. Okay, you can use title variable with hello. Okay, you can also write the expression which I just wrote, like 4 plus 5 or 4 plus 6. Hello, my store, and then 4 plus 5 is value to 9. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Write it down. Then, done. Is it done? Yes. Okay. Good. Now let's move ahead. Now let's say as I declared variable, okay. Let's say I have an object here, okay, product, okay, and I declare an object here, product, with let's say ID as 1, then name as let's say iPhone, okay, iPhone let's say 30, okay, and then as description, okay. Write a description as let's say some lorem ipsum. I'll use lorem. So when you have a emit, okay, and if you type just lorem in HTML, and if you type tab, this will generate a lorem ipsum. Okay. So you can just paste it here, okay, or you can write your own description. That's fine. Okay. Then I'll write a price. Let's say what is the price of it? Like 120, something like that. Okay, that's fine. Okay, or let's say 90,000. Okay, 90,000. Let's just say we have this many properties for this product. Okay, and I want to use these properties here. Okay, let's say I want to display product's name. How can I do it? Anyone can tell me how can I display product name here?
In string interpolation to product dot name.
Correct. Use product dot name. Okay, so if you use product dot name, you will see iPhone 14. Okay, if you want to access product dot ID, you can use product dot ID. Okay, so if I say product dot ID, so it will display product ID. It's one and iPhone 14. Okay, so that's how you can display an object's value. But what if I declare product here? What will happen? What it will display? Anyone knows? It will display object.
Object.
It will display object because in JavaScript or HTML, when you display any JavaScript object or array, okay, it just displays object. Okay, so that's the reason you cannot directly use product. Okay, you can use it to display entire object value. Okay, that I will tell you later on. Okay, but for now, just understand that if you want to use product ID name, okay, then let's say description, okay, you can use it. Let's say H3 here, okay, and in this H3 I want to use product ID, and then here I will display p tag, okay, here, okay. And let's say some strong tag, the price I'll declare it price, and p tag also same with description. You can see the entire product has been displayed. Okay, so that's how you can display a product or object's value. Got it, everyone? Write it down, then we will see the next one.
Don't you have an extension that will give us a suggestion of, in HTML file
Like product.
from product dot description, product dot name.
Yeah, if you are using Angular 14, right? So it already gives us this suggestion. Okay, you can type product dot. You can see all of these properties which are there in the product. Okay, you can access. This is because of the Angular's tool, okay, which we are using tsconfig and all. Okay, well, you can just install, I guess, ESLint. Uh,
It is not giving me the suggestion.
use ESLint then. Maybe ESLint
Yeah,
will
that is also installed.
installed.
Yes.
Uh, I have a lot of extension installed, so I don't know which one is giving me. Angular Essentials. Install this one. Maybe this one will give you
Angular
Essentials.
Essentials.
It has a lot of extensions, snippets, language service. Maybe this language service will give you the suggestion.
That is also added.
That is
I
also
don't know. Yeah, maybe it's not working in my case.
you can try like
Close and reopen.
yeah, Angular. Install the Angular language service, which is like provided by Angular itself.
Yes, I have installed that also.
Okay. So I'm not sure, because let's see what all Angular 2 inline. Let's see what is this one. And this is for inline HTML and all. And this auto close tag, auto rename, auto string, Babel, JavaScript. This is for highlighting. No.
मूड नहीं होगा, जाने दो.
हाँ?
एक्सटेंशन का मूड नहीं होगा, जाने दो.
And मेरे पास बहुत सारे एक्सटेंशन इंस्टॉल्ड है, सो मुझे भी पता नहीं कौन सा एक्सटेंशन वो दे रहा है.
Yes,
But,
yes.
ये एक्चुअली ना मेरे पास भी पहले ये सारे एक्सटेंशन इंस्टॉल्ड थे, बट ये स्टार्ट अभी अभी होने वाला लगा है, लाइक दिस सजेशन आना, बिकॉज इवन एंगुलर लैंग्वेज सर्विस जो है ना वो एक्चुअली चाहे तो अपडेट कर लो, अगर अपडेटेड नहीं रहेगा तो भी, मे बी दैट विल गिव यू सजेशंस, because Angular language service depends on this Angular build tools as well. Okay, the configuration files that we use. Okay. So Angular 14 onwards, they have added this support. Maybe वो helpful रहेगा.
Maybe because all the extensions are updated yet it's not working, so I don't. That's why I asked.
Okay. Maybe some extension might be having this. So even if you don't get it, just get it from here. For now, just check like this.
Now it is working.
Now it is working.
Yes.
Okay, maybe you have restarted.
Yes.
Okay.
Reopened the VS Code.
Okay, then good. Maybe the Angular language service is the one that is actually giving you the solution. This one.
Actually, that John Papa's extension is also good.
This gives you this.
Yeah, it will give us a snippets in TS5.
Yes. Variables and then that you see. You will install this one. So this will work. And then after installing, just restart your machine. So this will work. Not machine, VS Code. Okay, so is everyone done with this code?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. What about others? Good. Now, I have one product object. Okay, let's say I have multiple product objects. Then how can we do it? Let's say I have a products array. I'll change the name to product from product to products because I will have a multiple objects, and I will change it to array. So this is an array. I'll have multiple products. I'll just add 2, 3 products for now. 3 products. 2, then 3. Let's say this is like Samsung Galaxy Ultra 22. Okay, and let's say its price is around 95,000. Okay, and 95,000. Okay, and let's say Galaxy, not Galaxy, Google Pixel 6. Price is around 60, whatever. Okay, so now we have all of this. I'm not changing description. Now, if you run this, okay, you're obviously going to get an error because we have a products variable here and we are using product here. Okay, so if I want to use, let's say, first item, I can do products of 0.id. Okay, same I can do it for products of 0 name, products of 0 description, price. Okay, but we have 3 items here. So we'll have to do it 3 times. Okay, products of 1, then products of 2. Okay, what if you have like 10 items? Will I be doing it for all the 10 items? No, right? So there should be a mechanism where I can loop through this array. Okay. So how can we do it? Okay. I just need this same thing. Okay. I just need to loop through this products array. How can I do it? So for that, I need a div or any element. Okay. So here, I just put this inside a div. I need this entire div to be looped. Okay. Or let's say to be repeated. Okay. As many products as we have in products array. Okay. So how can we do it? So we can use for loop. Okay. How many of you know for of and for in loops? Do you know the difference between for of and for in?
No, sir.
No? Okay. So no worries. I'll take a example here. Okay. So let's say you have an array. Array equals to, no worries. An array 1, 2, 3, let's say 4, 5, whatever. Okay. So I have this array. Now, if I use for of loop, okay. So generally, what we do is we use for let I equals to 0 array dot length I plus plus, and then we access the array. Okay, but there is a for of loop which basically gives you, let's say, element of array. Okay, and in this you can type console.log element. Okay, and then if you run this, this will loop through this array, and this element will basically give you the value of each of this element. Okay, so you see 1, 2, 45, and 6. Okay, but if I do instead of for of, I will do if I do for in. Okay, then this will give me the indexes of this array. Okay, so you can see 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this can be used with object as well. So if you have an object, then this will give me the keys. Okay, keys of those objects, and in case of arrays, it will give me the indexes. Okay, so you can see like for of loop gives me the values, right? Here also, in by the way, is this understood now? For of and for in loop, the difference.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in our case also, when I say products array, I want to access every object from this array, right? So I will only has for of loop. There is no for in loop. Okay. So Angular only supports for of loop. So you can use ng for. Okay. Now ng for you have, it's a directive. Okay, and it's a structural directive. Okay, we will see this type of directives later on when we come to directive structure. But it's a structural directive because it changes your structure. Okay, that's why it's called a structural directive. So we say star ng for, and structural directives basically prefix with star. Okay, and since it's a Angular directive, so we use ng as a prefix, equals to, here we specify that for of. Okay, so whatever we write inside this for, okay, we write it here. Okay, select product of products. Okay, so you can see as soon as I write this, your all the errors are gone. That means correct. Okay, that means what we are doing is this entire ng for will work for this entire div. So we're starting and closing tag of div, and all of these things will be repeated, including div as well. Okay, including div, all of these things will be repeated till we have products length. Okay, so whatever the products length is, till that time this div will be repeated, and for each product you will for each loop or each item you will get this product object. Okay, so this product id, product name, product description, product price will be displayed for each and every item of that object array. Okay, now you will see, if I refresh my page, you'll see all of the items are displayed. Now this is like you can say this is the convenient. Okay, because if I want to display like 100 items now, I can just add objects here and they will be displayed here. Okay, you can see now this is a template now. Okay, I can add one more object here. Okay, let's say if I add one more object here, okay, 4. Okay, and I say Redmi 10. Okay, its price is, let's say, 30. Okay, if I add one more item, it will be displayed here. 4 items are displayed. So I don't need to change anything inside a template now. The template is ready. I can just change the data. Okay, I can increase the data. I can add as many data. I can remove the data. It will be displayed by the template. Okay, that's why it's called as template. Okay, and this is like you can see this is the component. Okay, that we can use. Got it, everyone? How to display array of elements in your Angular component?
Sir,
Understood?
so this component is which this template which we have created in the div tag is called component
The
or the
entire
product is
class
called
along with
component.
your template, okay, is called as component.
Okay.
This class along with your HTML file, because we are linking your HTML file here, template as a template in your class. This entire class with your HTML file is considered as a component. Okay?
There can be multiple such components like
Yes, there can be, and we are going to add.
okay.
So once done, just let me know.
Done.
Okay, chalo. So is it done for everyone? Okay. Now, cool. So we have declared our template, we have declared our component, okay. But as you can see now, my component, as I add more and more things into my component is getting increased, okay. And there are stuff which is actually not required by this add component, okay. This products array, okay. I can put it into another component, okay. I can make another component. I can reuse that component, right? And this is actually not related to your component. This products we can put it in another product component, okay. Now let's see how to create a component, okay, by using CLI. Okay, right now what we have done is we have just created component manually by creating a manually right clicking into a folder and creating file manually. But let's see how to create a component through CLI and what it does. Okay, so when you create a component through CLI, okay, it will create a component HTML file, component class file. It will also create a CSS file. Okay, and it will link all of those things. It will also create a test case file for you. Okay, let's see how we can do it. So as I told you, we have an ng command, right? So ng command is to for Angular CLI itself. So we can use this ng command, ng, then we can write generate. Okay, now generate has a shortcut. You can write generate or you can simply write G. Okay, after G, since we are going to create a component, so we'll write C or component. Okay, component for component also we have a shortcut. We can use C. Okay, after C, you need to specify the component name. Okay, so let's say I define a component name as product, products or product list, whatever products. Okay, we're going to show multiple products, so I'll write products. Okay, now let's say product list hyphen list. because we are going to display all the products in a list. Okay. The product list, products hyphen list. Okay, and then you need to specify the module in which it should be declared. Okay, so hyphen m app dot module. Okay, so we already have an app module here. You cannot you can write .ts. You don't write .ts. That's fine. Okay, that will go. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing here is I'm creating a component named as product hyphen list. Okay, and it will be declared in app module. Okay, you can see now in the app module we only have a one component declared, that is component app component. So as soon as you do this, even if you don't specify this option, it will automatically pick the one module which we have already have here. See, 4 files are created and one file is updated, which is nothing but your app module. And you can see product list component is automatically added in your declarations array. Okay, so you can see when you do through ng command, all the stuff basic boot, you can say basic code, okay, which is required is already created for you. Okay, so here you can see product list folder has been created. So whenever you create a component through CLI, Angular will generate a folder for you, and in that folder, the component related, all the component related stuff will be created. Okay, so you can open this folder and you can see 4 files are generated. One is product list component.html. So it has just a p tag with product list box. There is a CSS file also. So as we have declared SCSS when we created a component project, so it will create a SCSS. There's a test case file also. This is just a simple test case. Okay, so we don't require this. We can delete it as well. That's fine. And then there's a component. You can see the entire component has been generated for you. Okay, with @component, with class. It has also implemented some method ng on it and all. Okay, we will not look into this for now. Okay, we will come to this later on. Okay, what is this on it and this thing. It has also declared a constructor. Okay, and it has also declared a selector for us. Okay, and you can see we only declared product hyphen list, but it has already prefixed it with app hyphen. This it is picking up from your angular.json file. Okay, all of these steps, whatever the file is generated, okay, the file should be generated as CSS is already defined here. Okay, so it generates a CSS file. When we say product component, so it will automatically pick this prefix app hyphen, and it will create a app hyphen product list. Okay, and the template URL which is created here, you can see the product list component.html. Okay, so it will be created and it will be added in your component. Also the style URLs are also added. Okay, you can see we have an array here, and here we only have a single file. Okay, because one HTML file can have multiple CSS files. That's why we have an array here. Okay, but one component can only have one HTML file. Okay, one HTML file can have multiple CSS files. That's why we have an array here. Okay, so this is your component. Okay, so your component is generated. Okay, I want to use this component in my app component. So what I can do is I can just copy this selector. Okay, and I can go to my app component.html and I'll just place it here. Okay, for now I'll just place it here and I'll say list this one. Okay, so this is the component that we have created. Okay, and I'm just using it in my app component. Okay, let's save it and start your application again. You can also generate it in another terminal. Okay, that's fine. Okay, but sometimes what happens is Angular doesn't picks it up. Okay, and you need to restart again. Okay, so in that case, stop and start. That's fine. Okay, so your Angular compilation is successful. Let's go and check, refresh. You can see all of these products are displayed, and there is in the last you can see product list box. Okay, in the element section also you can see in app shop we have all this div, and then there is a app product list at the end. Okay, and it is displaying product list box. Okay, we have a p tag with product list box, and that is displayed here. Okay, so what I need to do is I have to transfer product related code to my product list component. Okay, so let's do that. So we have a app component here. Okay, we have a product list component HTML file. So I'll just open it here, and also the TypeScript file. Okay, so let's transfer the code. So I'm going to transfer this entire array. So I'll just cut it from here. Okay, and I will paste it here. Okay, the products array has been transferred. Now next thing, save it, save it. The HTML, need to transfer this HTML. So cut it from here and go to the HTML file of this, remove, paste. Okay, save it. Here also save it. Now if you come here and refresh your page, you'll see again my store with product list is coming. Okay, why it is coming? Because in app shop we have used product list. Okay, this component is actually displaying this entire product. Okay, if I remove this component, you'll not see anything. Okay, you'll not see anything. My store will be displayed. So this is like you have converted your entire HTML code into a component. Okay, and I can now see this is a component. Okay, this is the reusable component now. What does this mean? If I use it one more time, it will display two times. See, ID product one, and you can see it is again displayed here. You can check it out in the HTML as well. It is used two times. Okay, so that's how you can your component has become reusable. Okay, you can reuse it as many times as you want. Okay, but that can only be reused inside app component, not inside index.html. Okay, if I use this one in the index.html, it will not work. Okay, we already seen your app shop is the only one which basically uh, displays your product list. Okay, here also you have a product list component, but it does not contain any of the HTML. Okay, so it will only work inside this. Okay, so here you can write as many, sorry, component HTML, you can write as many times as you want a product list. Okay, because it's reusable component now. Okay, I can use it as many times as I want. Okay, one more thing I would like to show you. Okay, which is nothing but a loading. You can use loading screen here. Okay, till your code page is displayed. Okay, you can use a loader here. Okay, so app shop. When I say index.html, inside this, if I say loading, okay, loading, dot dot dot. Okay, so this loading text will be displayed till your page is loaded. Okay, and refresh your page. You can see loading text is displayed for small amount of time. You can add yeah SVG here. Okay, that is it. Any questions, Sonali? Okay, so you can see like a loader. I can display loader here. If I want GIF or some SVG animation, you can just display this within this. That will be displayed. Sonali, I'm muted. Okay. So that loader, okay. So like when you, I can show you where you can use it. I have my website, so I can show it to you, moreaprenit.com. Here you'll see the loader. Okay, so till my page is loading, you can see the loader. Once it is loaded, then you can see the entire page. Okay. This way, you can basically show the loader. Okay, so you can use this stuff for loading. Okay, so the inside you can show it to you. Okay, but that's not the whole thing. But what I wanted to show is nothing but you can create a separate component for your product list and you can use it anywhere inside app component. Okay, or anywhere other component as well, which is inside your app component. Okay, got it, everyone? How to create a separate component using CLI and use it. Understood? Any questions? Yes,
It's clear.
clear. Okay, write it down. Good. Write it down. Once done, just let me know.
So can you show that command we wrote on
Yeah.
terminal?
I'll get over here. I'll type it. ng Angular command, G, or you can use generate to generate. Then C for component, and then the component name, let's say product hyphen this, and then hyphen M. This component should be included in or declared inside app module. So we specify hyphen M app.create. Okay. So this command you can use.
Done.
Done. What about others?
Done, sir.
Okay, great. So we will stop here. Okay, and the next lecture will continue with further topics. Okay, but for your project, okay, you might have to complete your project or for this course. Okay, you can start with any project. Okay, or you can start with any of the portfolio that you want to create. Okay, you can create your own portfolio as well. Okay, I'll show you some of the portfolios that has been created by previous students. Okay, one is like you can see my portfolio as well by going to moretraining.com. Okay, so portfolio basically consists of your resume or something, your things. Okay, so you can have a header, then you can have your own content, your about me section. Okay, then you can have your CV attached to it, and you can just see the CV. Okay, or you can just download your PDF CV in PDF format, and then your services or works or projects that you have worked on, skill sets. Okay, and then the blogs if you have it, or contact me page, and the footer page. Okay, the footer page you can just showcase the uh, links to your profiles. Okay, social profiles. And yeah, so this is how you can create your portfolio. Okay, I will also show you some of my students profiles. I don't know if they have kept it or not on the website. So he's is one of the students, so he has also created his own portfolio. You can see he has declared for this section. Okay, he's created a very good portfolio here. See about education. Okay, also one more 021.io. Okay, he has removed it. This then we I'll tell you how to deploy it on the GitHub pages or any other deployment server. Okay, so you can also host your portfolio on the server, but at least try creating or developing your portfolio so that you can it will be helpful for you in your interview process as well, and it will be like your own website as well. You can also buy domain later on, and on that domain you can deploy your application, or you can use this GitHub pages as well. Okay, there's one more I can show you.
These are mostly Bootstrap and HTML, right?
Yeah, this
Portfolios.
like Bootstrap and HTML itself. Okay, Bootstrap HTML, but yeah, they have used created it using Angular. Yes, some of the portfolios are created using Angular. Okay. Also, one more. I can two more are there. Like I can give you all of them. This is basically created with React. Okay. So she has also created it like with some theming. Okay, dark and light theme. She hasn't changed its about me. But one more is there. I can show you. This one was good. I don't remember. So you can see her GitHub profile as well. So it's very creative. Okay. You can check it in the its page. Okay. It's also like dark and light theme. Okay. Check out her resume experience. You can see how it has been displayed. She has also like at the in like she was my student when at the corona period. Okay, so that time we have integrated this corona apis. Okay, so that she has created with Angular and all. So this is the application, so it will show you the total cases, but I think the API is obsolete now. Okay, so we may not see the data here. Okay, and the test dashboard also she has created with Angular, Angular Material, and HighCharts. These are the things as well. Skills, contact us. So this is the dashboard. So that's how you can create your own projects as well. Okay, or you can create your own portfolio as well. Okay, use any like Angular, or if you want to use any other, but do it in Angular. Okay. Portfolio, if you want to do it in Angular, you can do it, or if you want to do it in a plain HTML CSS, that's also fine. But at least do any project in Angular. Start with any project. Okay. If you want to integrate it with backend, you can do it. Okay. Later on, we will see how to integrate backend APIs in your application. You can do that as well. But start creating your application so that at the end of the course, you will be able to complete your project itself. Okay. Along with the project that we are seeing. Okay. So you can like if you want to develop a portfolio website, okay, you can create components. Okay. So if I say my website as well, so here you can see there is this like loader, and this is a header component. Okay, you can say this one is as a basic top component or something like that. The about me component. Okay, then we have a my services component. Then a my services also has some like service component, something like this. Okay, or some skills component, this blog component, contact me component, footer component. So you can create all those components, and later on you can add some styling, HTML, and you can integrate them in our app component itself. So you can also, or if you need, you can also check out some other people's portfolios, which will basically help you for design concept or any interesting ideas. Okay. So try creating your project along with our course itself. So you'll be able to complete that project as well, and that will be helpful for you as well. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And if you have any questions, or if you want, if you need my help on developing that project, you can obviously reach out to me. Okay. Okay, then we'll stop here and we'll meet in the next lecture, that is on Wednesday. Okay.
Anything to practice, sir, on like
Yes, please.
tomorrow or something like that?
Yeah, Rajesh.
Do we have any like assignments? I mean, are we going to have any assignments or stuff?
Start creating the portfolio project itself, and in that project you can just start with the things that we have done. Okay, just create one component, and not one component, try to create many components and add those components in a HTML file, app component. As I told you, header component, footer component, try to add these components in your app component itself. Try to create them. Okay, it's like you can do that because we whatever we have seen right now, you can just create a basic structure or basic structure for your portfolio.
I do have one question, sir.
Yes, sure.
Let's suppose there is one common CSS file
Hmm.
we have to import for like various components.
Yes.
So is there any way we define it only once and then it will be applied all over like 10
Yeah,
components?
the
Or do
global,
we have to define it each component separately?
the global styles.scss, this file. We are going to integrate Bootstrap in our application in the next lecture. So I will tell you in that lecture how to do that. But you can declare your global styles here, so they will be applied to all the components. We'll see this
Okay.
in this lecture. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So let's stop here. Any other questions? No? Okay, then. Let's stop and continue.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
But thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes, Bala.